Okay, welcome from the land of the future, Zhongguo, the Middle Kingdom, China, Beijing. I'm trying to be entertaining. This is my first ever, I guess it's a vlog, a video blog, but it's not going to be just me, you seeing me. It's going to be me showing you things. Mostly pictures I take that week and of things that are near my house or places that I go in China or just artsy-fartsy stuff I think is cool. My name is Mike. My name is Mike Rice. Some of you know me as Micah. Stop it. But that's the truth. Some of you do. And some of you know me as that jerk who wasn't very nice to me that one time. So I'm going to be going through lots of different things. Let's get into that thing. So I'm going to use the body of the information today to talk to you about a few things. First of all, where I'm from, Seattle, Washington. I was born a long freaking time ago. Career, as far as my career is concerned, I worked for a long time as an instructional designer. I currently work, and I came to Beijing to do that, but I ended up working with very young children, an opportunity I would not see in the United States. My class is full of 2 to 4 year olds. They turn 4 towards the end of when they're with me so they can move on to the next level and turn 5 and move on to the next level and turn 6 and then go to regular Chinese grade school. So the parents of these people are they're middle class. They're the new middle class in China, and wealthy as well. But they have the time and the effort to look forward and outside of their current existence and realize their children need to learn to speak another language. And of course, I teach them English, and a huge part of what I teach them is behavior. So I find myself most of the time just going, "What are you doing? What is the matter with you?" I feel like my dad. So a bunch of little Chinese kids, awesome children, very smart. I can't compare them to anyone but myself, and I know that I was never as smart as they are. Certainly not as focused on the idea that English is cool. So these kids are actually learning English to continue learning English throughout their career so they can become multinational people. And also speaking, as we know, speaking more than one language teaches your brain, especially when you're young. So I am learning Chinese now, and that's going horribly because I'm old. And learning things when you're old brings up the adage. But I'm working hard at it, and I'm getting better every day. So as far as my decision to move was concerned, I was getting tired of doing what I was doing, and I was coming to the age and a financial situation where I could retire. So I went ahead and did that, sort of. Some days I kind of want to go back. China is a lot of things that are positive, but some days you just go, I want to go downstairs to the bar, and I want to eat a cheeseburger that hasn't been cooked on a grill that recently cooked a Chinese dish so that it doesn't taste like Chinese food. But anyway, that being said, there are plenty of places in Beijing to get that burger or that glass of ale that you love so much. As far as that goes, the present day, I'm doing exactly what I've just described. I'm teaching every day. I'm scooting, as it were, around Beijing. I'm moving. I bought a scooter. I also take the subway. And in the future, I hope to be able to do a couple of things. One of them, the big one, is going to be obviously speak Chinese. I think that you can't live in China without speaking Chinese. You can, but only in parts of it. Like Beijing, if I didn't want to learn, and I know lots of white Americans or black Americans, lots of Americans that are, and Westerners that are like, why would I learn Chinese? I can get by with a few basic words, and everything else is in English. And I'll explain more about why that's possible, sadly possible, in China, and why that needs to be rectified. And the problems that come along with thinking you can do that as well. As far as it goes, I'm going to be talking about healthcare and politics and political correctness and I want to do a segment, if I can, on who's more screwed up, comparing the United States in healthcare, politics, political correctness, between China and us in the United States. And then I'm going to be closing every day with who we are. I believe that the United States is the greatest country on the planet. The Chinese believe that China is the greatest country, but they love the United States on the ground. Now, we're not talking about the leaders, and that's true in any country. I think you'll find the people that have traveled really have a respect and a love for the people that live in the country they visit, especially if they have the opportunity to live there, as I have afforded myself, and learn to be a little bit more aware of the world around them. There's a limit to that. You obviously don't go hitchhiking in Iran, or maybe in Iran, but certainly not in some of the countries where some of these poor people go off and hitchhike in places, the war-torn areas, and they end up dead, and they're like, oh, surprise, this country's in a horrible state right now. Why would you even think you can do that? And that's the overblown view of believing that all people are good, because all people are not good. And furthermore, if you're raised in a Judeo-Christian ethic, nobody's good. We have to work at it every day to be good, to remove from our practice our baser nature. So we'll talk a little bit about all those things. There is a lot going on. And then finally, there's going to be a lot, I'll try to cover news items here in China. One of my favorites, and I'll talk about it in the future, is the fact that Winnie the Pooh is banned here in China, which is actually one of my favorite stories of all time. Winnie the Pooh banned in China because some political commentator made the reference that the leader of China looks like Winnie the Pooh, so he banned Winnie the Pooh. This is the classic example, of course, of people taking themselves seriously to a very extreme degree. So that's what we're going to be talking about. Hopefully this will be fun for everybody. I absolutely love it here in China. I'm not coming home anytime soon. I miss the United States because obviously I'm an American, and in my heart of hearts, I believe in true American ideals, in the experiment, in the idea that is the United States. And it's sad to see what's going on at home, and it's sad to see that the rest of the world thinks we're a bunch of idiots because we're going through it. That being said, we still have a bit of an imperialistic reputation out here in the hinterlands, in the Middle Kingdom. And so Americans are greeted because they can be used. And I'll get into that as well. China is a wonderfully welcoming place, but you have to have a use here. And that's fine with me. I have a use here. I have, in fact, a kind of a special status. If you're white, if you're American, and I know this sounds racist, but it's the truth here in China, you have a better chance of finding a job teaching English than if you're black, and or if you're Scandinavian, or or whatever, or if you're from another country and you have an accent as the Chinese see it in your English. British English used to be very popular. They used to, and still do, to a certain extent, enjoy that certain favored status, but not as much. And Americans are very popular right now. And it almost doesn't matter what age you are, which I think is an interesting topic as well. I'll be getting into all that. So that's what it's going to be, people. Here we are. I want to thank you. I hope you like me. If you do, like it down there at the bottom, because this is all going to be on YouTube. Hopefully I won't say anything that gets me banned. Talk to you later. Remember, always be courageous and kind.